personal note. A longtime member, Jimmy Green, has passed, and I'd like to just put a thing in here. Just a motion recognizing his service to the
Well, let's do
planning
that.
board.
Let's do that when we get to the agenda approval,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
Yep.
just add it to the agenda.
Has she had, have services been done for?
I don't know.
I think it's to be announced.
Yeah, they're not gonna do anything probably until late April.
Hey, it's not like we're up north and the ground is hard.
I don't know, maybe he's got some family that's not in town, I'm not.
They may not be burying her either.
Yeah, that's true, that's a good point. I don't know where he's from originally, I know he's lived here for many, many years, but I don't know where he's from. May have said in that obituary.
Lock Chuck out.
Well, that's why I closed the door.
That's okay, it's not
Well,
seven.
better yet, chain that bad boy up.
It's not seven yet. He's not due.
Yeah, remember, every minute counts, billable hours.
Exactly. He'll make more getting here and leaving than he will while he's there.
Let's do those out here and back.
Isn't this also, T, help me out, in the land use, wouldn't this also be addressed again or not? I don't guess it would be, because all we're doing here is agreeing to take the federal, or we agree to this so that we can get the federal coverage.
Correct, so what it is, there's a section in the development ordinance, it's not in the future land use plan, it's in the development ordinance that says the town of Stokesdale, since we don't have our own flood mapping department, we comply with the federal flood
Okay,
mapping.
all right.
And what we're doing is updating the language in there from 2007 to 2026. And then, of course, the partnership guy over at Guilford County has proposed any revisions thereunto. And the main reason you do it is so that you're eligible for flood insurance.
Right,
So,
that part I got.
I think your explanation should be read into the minutes too.
Mr. Winfrey, sir, how are you this evening?
How's everybody?
Oh,
Hey,
all
Mr.
right.
Winford.
I can interrupt somebody by just kicking this.
It's better than kicking the bucket. I've reached the age where a lot of my friends are passing on.
Wait, tell me.
Accountants, acquaintances and friends passing
Tell me.
on.
Tell me. And I'm not that old, I don't understand. But I've noticed that
no,
all of my
not
friends
today.
look old.
Hopefully the next.
Have you looked in a mirror lately? Who's that old guy? I feel old in the morning. If I wake up not hurting anything,
Yeah,
that's a
I
good
know.
day.
Oh, it'll change.
I know.
I wake up every morning hurting. Won't take me long to get out of it when I get to walking and moving around and stuff, but
7 o'clock. I'd like to call this meeting to order. First thing we should do is have the Pledge of Allegiance. Stand if you would, please. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, gentlemen. Review and adopt the agenda. Before we do that, I move to amend the meeting agenda, the amendment being the addition of item number 7A, a closed session in accordance with North Carolina General Statute 14318.11 sub A parentheses 3. And then I also want to add another item that we recognize longtime member Jimmy Green, who has passed. Chair will reckon, a second?
I'll second it.
Mr. Crawford seconds. All those in, well, any discussion? All those in favor? Aye.
I
None opposed. Review and adopt the following minutes of January 22nd, 2026, regular town planning board meeting. Any comments to that?
I make a motion, we adopt the
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Pass. Public comment period. We have a public. We are public.
please limit it to 3 minutes.
Okay, moving on then. Public hearing, flood damage prevention ordinance text amendment, section 7-5. Public hearing to receive comments on a proposed amendment to section 7-5 of the Stokesdale Development Ordinance to adopt flood insurance rate maps and flood insurance study reports. The amendment supports continued participation in the National Flood Insurance Program. Now, Mason, you had a very succinct explanation of why we need to do this.
Or Robbie did.
Or, I'm sorry, Rob.
That's okay. Yeah, I'll be glad to touch on this. So Brent Gatlin, the watershed engineer for Guilford County, reached out, let us know that after months and months of public hearings and all that on the county side, they're ready to adopt the floodplain map as it's been prepared by FEMA. And Guilford County would like for all the municipalities to also adopt this plan. And they would like us to do it by May 1st so that the county can adopt it by June 1st. This map was put together in 22 by FEMA. They've had tons and tons of public hearings, and now they're ready to adopt it in 26. And my understanding is by the town adopting this floodplain map, it would allow our residents the ability to have floodplain insurance. So that's the importance of it. Last time I believe this was done was 2007, or at least that's the last time the town updated the ordinance for one.
And this will just be where it's applicable in,
Stokesdale.
right, so
It's,
it's,
yeah, all of Guilford County, but we're approving the one for Stokesdale. And I've actually got it pulled up here. There's no physical hard map, which I know may be hard to believe, but there's a digital map, and I can show you what it looks like now. And then what it's proposed to look like. So it slightly changes.
Mr. Chair, are you opposed to the board walking up to the TV? Because I can't see it from here.
Go right ahead. Matter of fact, I'd like to see that myself, if there's any change.
All right. So, I think it makes us do it one quadrant at a time. But, let's get logged in here. Hold on, bear with me.
Well, we can put into the record that the site is,
It's not the
FR.
easiest to use.
what's that?
It's not the easiest to use. It works great. It's FRIS, the Flood Risk Information System.
All right.
And so that's what it looks like currently. And this is what they're proposing. So it slightly changes here on Troublesome Creek. This goes out, I believe, 50 years and 100 years is what they're figuring here. So you can see where it gets a little wider in some places, a little bit more narrow in some places.
Okay, the hash mark or the dash section, that's what we anticipate it will be.
That's the proposed area, Robbie.
Yeah, so that's the proposed, and I think those are just
Is
markings.
it an additional proposal to what is already there?
No, it's just essentially based on the data that they've gathered, it shifts it upwards in some locations, shifts it down in some locations, widens it, narrows it, just kind of based on whatever the information that they have on these floodplains are. The only two areas in Stokesdale are Troublesome Creek and Hall River. Those are the only two where floodplain are present.
Got your place.
And my understanding is that there's only one structure in the town limits that falls within the floodplain, and it's an accessory building.
Good. Robbie, would you read the website address into the minutes?
Yeah,
too?
absolutely. So it's an easy one, HTTPS // FRIS, that's FRIS.nc.gov/map. That's, of course, part of the flood risk management system.
Which is excellent because there is no paper map and anybody who wants to read it can look at it now.
That's right.
All right.
Chris had a question for Chuck.
Yeah, I do. So I've got some concerns regarding the last few words that says "and all revisions" there too. And my concern is this shifts again, and it could put a citizen's house potentially in this floodplain, and they would then be subject, particularly if they have a mortgage, to flood insurance automatically because of that. And we have agreed to this without it coming before anybody at the town. I just have some reservations. I mean, I think it's highly unlikely, but I do think it is. Do we have to accept it with that it doesn't come back before the?
No, you can elect to just, again, this is your recommendation to the town council about what this ordinance, how this ordinance should read. And if you wanted to strike the last phrase of that, you're just signing up to do this every time it changes.
And I'm guessing that, I don't know, since the town doesn't have their own flood mapping department, I don't know that there's a whole lot we could do anyway.
That's right.
I mean, so it may be a moot point, but I just wanted to propose the question. That was the.
Yeah, answer your question, no, you're not obligated to accept it. You're making a recommendation anyway to the town council. So you could recommend adoption and say, we don't recommend that you allow these revisions, or you could recommend it as is, and let the town council wrestle with whether they wanted to kind of farm out the duty for determining the floodplain to somebody who's trained to do it.
Well, then there's the mechanics of if they make a change, how do we know about it?
Well, that's just it. I mean,
We won't know about it.
town
Except
wouldn't.
I mean, the town, as a town, we would not know about it.
Well, I do think the county, Guilford County would still need to accept it, and so they'll send notices out to municipalities, and I would assume their residents should, at least, I can't guarantee they will, letting folks know when these public hearings are and all that, because they came out with this back in '22, and then for 4 years kind of had sessions for folks to come in and argue whether or not it was right or not, and so not necessarily the county's done it that long, but it's been that way since FEMA created it in '22. So I guess notice would come out of those maps being considered, and here's a time to come and speak.
Okay.
What if we just dropped "and all revisions" there too?
Yeah, you have every right to do that.
Go with up to ordinance. Drop those last four words.
That sounds like a motion to me.
I'm just asking, is that?
I could get on board with that, because that forces it to come back before the town council and the planning board, and that creates a public hearing which a potential citizen could be notified of.
Well, my concern, and I think it's probably yours, is the planning department is trying their damnedest to take all of this away from us.
I don't disagree with that.
Yeah, so, and I agree with you. I think, as long as we can have a say, I think we ought to have a say.
The only drawback to that is if there's a change to these floodplain maps that they generate, and we don't get word of it ourselves, are we gonna have citizens who are gonna be it could be worse in one way, because they don't know they're in the floodplain, and we might authorize activity not knowing it's a floodplain.
With that said, if we agree to all the revisions, are they gonna notify us of that? If they don't notify us of that, we're in the same boat.
But I guess this would be available online. I mean, I'm assuming this map gets updated.
So it's
available
gonna be
online.
incumbent upon us either way, is it not? To check the map.
Well, that's right, but more importantly for the property owners, if they have a question about whether.
Oh, yeah, okay, but I don't think by dropping those 4 words, I don't think it changes,
It just means, in my mind, it just means that it has to come back in front of the planning board and the town council. And I could be totally,
Yeah,
there's
I
a reason
think
I'm
that's
not in
right.
your seat, but
I think it would, yeah, it would, but somebody has to make a note to bring it back to the town council. I mean, so we have to make sure that, or that.
would
if
that
it
not
wasn't
make it the
changed-
county's responsibility to notify us and request approval by us not agreeing to those 3 words?
I don't know. I don't know the answer to that question. I don't know what the county commissioners, if they're going to be adopting an ordinance that says theirs automatically changes too. I don't know what their plan is.
I don't know. I'm not sure.
We can try to find that out before it goes to town council, so.
Yeah.
But you're certainly free to recommend whatever, you want to the town council.
Well, on a flip side of that, if we adopt as present but not future, if they change it in the future, does that knock our citizens from participation in the National Flood Insurance Program because we have not adopted their?
Well, that's the issue is if your definition of a special flood hazard zone is at variance with what the current maps are, then you could be creating a problem for people trying to get insurance in Stokesdale, theoretically. Because your ordinance hasn't kept up with the latest maps, essentially.
I think that would be a bigger problem
You're not
for
wrong.
the,
If they couldn't get coverage.
what about if you add, and all revisions thereto after review by town planning board?
Or say after notice to the.
Town of
to
Stokesdale.
the town council, or after notice to the town of Stokesdale, or you put some kind of notice requirement that it's changed.
I could get on board with that. I don't know what the rest.
okay. As long as,
Can you word that
I think
for
the
us?
real thing, I think I think somebody, we need to ensure that somebody is letting the town know in this building.
So maybe we should add a phrase after there too, say after notice to the clerk of the town of Stokesdale. So the clerk will get notice.
Read it out as you're proposing it.
Starting with, and all revisions there too, comma, after notice to the clerk of the town of Stokesdale.
I think that's fine.
So the clerk will get notice that there's been a change, and they could inform the planning board and inform the town council, and they could put on the
The only thing I
website.
think I would add is written notice.
No, but good point. I'm not sure about Robbie, maybe Mason, this, something dated June 10th, 2026. That's in the future.
No, that's wrong. That's a wrong
So, Is
date.
that just typo, or is that?
Yeah, I saw that. I've got that highlighted.
That's when they intend to approve this. They want us to do it in May so they can do it in June.
Oh, I see, so it's on their June 10 agenda.
That's right.
Okay.
And this ordinance is just so Stokesdale can get floodplain, flood insurance?
Yeah, correct,
Part of
yes.
the federal plan.
I thought the state of North Carolina had a floodplain insurance. I mean,
federal.
stats you could get.
They do, but I guess when you incorporate as a town, you have the responsibility of having a flood damage prevention ordinance, and it has to be updated to be in compliance with the federal and state maps. And so that's what this is doing, is updating it from the 2007 map to the 2026, and then all revisions thereunto, once they make us aware of it.
And then they'll have the rules on how to apply for this insurance or what it would cover.
I don't know that it would be in this necessarily. You would have to reach out to.
You have to be, Ron, you have to be in the floodplain for it to be applicable.
Well, I'm on Hall River.
Yeah, but you may not be in the plane.
Yep.
You'd have to be in the plane according to the map.
We can type in, after the meeting, I can type your address in, and we can see if you fall within the plane.
Okay.
As long as you're not in the plane, you're good.
I know my houses are not involved in it because if water gets up to our house, somebody better start running.
We need
But it does,
an arc.
it does flood the bottom, my bottom's out.
So you're close to it.
Oh, I cross Hall River.
No,
Hall
I'm
River
saying
comes
you're
right-
close to the floodplain. If it's doing that, you're
Yeah.
close to the floodplain now.
Yeah,
Which comes back to my original comment that if we don't have a revised map and have it part of our ordinance, he could be knocked out of the federal
The ability to
insurance.
get covered.
Yeah.
yeah, that could happen, yeah. Okay.
I would like to leave the revisions because they could revise it next day, tomorrow.
But they don't have to, but if they don't notify us, I don't see that we gain anything. If they do the revision, as long as they notify us that they've done the revision, then he could be covered. Otherwise, if they don't notify us of the revision, how does he know to go ahead and add the insurance or to apply for the insurance?
Or more importantly, if somebody's wanting to put structures on his property,
That were in that plane.
Yeah, well, they should,
Where
they should notify the town hall if they approve it. And then the town hall can put it out.
No, because you own the property. You currently own the property. So if you were to go down there and build on that floodplain, the question is,
My mom and daddy didn't raise that big a fool.
okay.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Your stupid brother's first son decides to do, something,
Yeah.
who knows? But then it's not covered. Or,
we may have trouble getting insurance.
yeah, the liability falls directly to the individual.
Or you do have flood insurance and whoever is saying, I've got coverage, and they go back to the map that we have agreed to and said, oops, your map does not, or this Stokesdale's map doesn't cover it. And so you're out of luck.
What would irritate me even more is if I did have the flood insurance and the plane moved away from me, and I'm still stuck paying that flood insurance, not needing it. That would bother me more.
Oh, yeah.
But by having all the revisions accepted right away, then it's up to you to change it instead of being blindsided.
Yeah,
And all revisions thereto with notice to Town of Stokesdale,
Written notice
After written notice to the clerk of.
with written notice.
to the town clerk of Stokesdale.
Does that work, Steve?
Yes, it works for me.
Works for me.
I make a motion that we adopt the revision with the said addition as laid out by Mr. Winfrey.
I'll second.
Is that clear enough?
That's great, yeah. It's a motion to recommend adoption to the Stokesdale Town Council as written with the revision of after written notice to the town clerk of the town of Stokesdale.
You got a motion and a second, Steve?
All right, let's take a vote. I was writing that in now.
I'm an
You're a no.
I'm an aye.
All right, Mr.
And I'm an
Crawford
aye.
is no. Mr. Southern is an aye.
aye.
And I also. I am also an aye.
Did you put me down for a no?
Yes or no?
I'm sorry.
Mr. Crawford, vote yes or no?
I voted yes.
I voted yes.
I thought you said,
I said. They were all yes.
Aye,
all right.
being aye
Let's-
in the
let's-
affirmative.
let's go. We're all in agreement that's an affirmative,
It's anonymous,
Confirmed.
unanimous.
unanimous. All right. Next item. Public comment. Any public comments? Okay. Before we go to a closed session, I would like our planning board to recognize the service of Mr. Jimmy Green, who has passed recently. He was a longtime member of the planning board. What I'd like to have is a motion recognizing Jimmy Green's service to the planning board with a second. That's all we need.
Why don't you make the motion?
All right, I'd make a motion that the planning board recognize Jimmy Green's service, many years of service to the planning board.
I'll second that.
Aye.
All right,
Aye.
let's take a vote by acclamation. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Nay. Next item is, I moved, let's see, sorry about that. I move that the Stokesdale Town Planning Board enter into closed session in accordance with North Carolina General Statute 143-318- or .11 sub A3. The purpose of this closed session is to consult with an attorney employed or retained by the public body in order to preserve the attorney-client privilege between the attorney and the public body, which privilege is hereby acknowledged. I need a motion. Do you second it?
I'll second it.
All those in favor by acclamation?
Aye.
We're good. Now,
Next, we're gonna need to go back to that.
okay,
Out of the ocean.
Oh, I've eaten fish all over this world, and that's the best I've had.
Billy said it was really good. She said that she ended up with like 3 meals or something with it.
All right, do we have to have a transition from a closed session to an open session again?
Yeah.
I think
Yeah,
you gotta
that's
open
right,
this
you gotta
meeting back
adjourn.
up.
All right. Chair will entertain a motion that we do so.
I'll make said motion.
I second.
All right. By acclamation, aye.
Aye.
All right, we're back in session, which means announcements, town planning board announcements. The next regular Stokesdale Town Council meeting is scheduled for Thursday, April 9th, 2026 at 7 PM here at the Town Hall. The next regular Stokesdale Town Planning Board meeting is scheduled for Thursday, April 23rd, 2026 at 7 PM, again inside this Town Hall. Chair will enter motion.
I'll make a
entertain
motion to adjourn.
Second.
By acclamation,
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you,
Adjourned.
gentlemen.
Thank you, gentlemen, for your time.
Veronica, can you leave that floodplain up